Hi all. Feels weird not to be in the office to say goodbye to all of you. After 3 years, it's finally time to say goodbye to Financeplus UK and for me to take the next steps in my own journey and career. My 3 years here have flown by. It felt like yesterday coming in, sitting by Austin, Ashaka and Jay in a department by my lonesome self. I remember Corinne and Ashaka taking pity on me and even taking me out for dinner on my first birthday here. It was interesting in trying to figure out a plan to create a new department and to convince agencies to pay us for our work. Over the 3 years, I'm pleased to say that we've built something to be proud of. It's taken hard work and many hours and long nights and weekends, but we've done it. And that team of one, focused on statutory reporting, eventually became a team of three. And that team of three has submitted just shy of 750 statutory accounts and has worked with WPP, Tax and Legal to dissolve close to 150 companies in the group over the last 3 years. However, the numbers don't do it justice. Like an iceberg, the delivery is only the 20% you see. The effort it took to start from scratch was monumentous. We set up workbooks that acted like software. We read and wrote up IFRS standards and Companies Act rules into pro forma accounts so that it would be efficient to create these stats from scratch. We put all that information into trainings together, and then we went through all the OPCO numbers and tried to understand them and then tried to put them into a legal statutory format. For this, I have to thank Tutor incredibly. Without him, we would not have a stats department. He has been unbelievable. He's great at what he does, and I really want to thank him for all of his hard work. I also want to thank Amida, who came into the department and has been a great energy and a wonderful worker for us. The success of our stats team drove our success to take on WPP management accounting, the monthly reporting. That was for 150 companies that we transitioned in around 2 years ago. We've tried to make the process more efficient and easier, but it's a tough job getting this done during a month end. Again, the team managed by Turan have been amazing and have kept delivering on it. This was originally Mansoor and Mohammed Raja, who did a great job in starting the process, and now it's being done by Nina, Zana and Nusrat, who are continuing on the great work. I still remember in December and early January sitting in the office in the evenings with Turan, and we'd go through some of the accounting for some of these multi-billion-pound restructures occurring in the group and just be gobsmacked by the size and scale of WPP. I then took over the media reporting last year, and that was a baptism of fire if there ever was one. The agencies and accounting were so complex, so varied agency to agency, and the system that was being used was so old. It was really tough to sometimes get your head around all of the various areas of accounting outside of the norm. But well and truly, the team have always known what to do. We've been fortunate to have a steady, diligent and knowledgeable team that deliver this work month on month. So thank you to Gary, Jess, Juliana, Anita, Hidia, Nang and Mitesh, and formally to Laura, Leslie, Dip, Zahab and Edwin. And of course, thanks to Cully, who has always managed the delivery and client relationship and is not only a great manager, but a good friend. Recently, I took over the part of the Treasury team, and although we've made some process changes for compliance purposes, I've not really had to get involved too much. And that's again due to the team's quality. So thank you to Dean Banu, Alejandro, Palvi, and formerly to Puvanan. And lastly, but by no means least, Vishali, you're my first hire, and your journey to become compliance lead has been really weird. But I'm glad you're there. Otherwise, I'm sure Chris and I Well, I'm sure Chris was as tired as I was in dealing with internal then external audits. But you've deserved every success that has come your way. You've developed a great amount and have been through challenges few others will ever experience in their lives. You're like an annoying little sister to me, but I've enjoyed working with you over the last few years. It's been a pleasure working with all of you. Well and truly, I've been lucky to come across incredible individuals in my time here. I want to give a special thanks to my fellow senior leadership team. We may disagree, we may have argued, we may have compromised in certain situations, but in the end, we've always worked together and worked for the benefit of Financeplus and its people, even with the continuous changes and struggle we and it have faced. A super special thank you to Mary for taking a chance on a 30-year-old to join a company in a leadership role, and for then giving me the opportunity and allowing me to create and mould a department that I think can now be called a centre of excellence in what it delivers. For me personally, I won't ever forget FP, not only for the challenges in work, for the late nights and for the successes and small wins. I'm especially proud of getting the WPP apprentice levy to pay for our staff study support, and also getting our platinum and approved training and development provider sign-offs from AAT, SEMA and ACCA. But most importantly, I'm most proud of coming in the top 3 in the Halloween competition 2 years ago, and then winning it last year. Whoop whoop. But from a personal standpoint, it was also the place I worked when I got divorced and when I couldn't see my little girl every day. It was a difficult time, which I hope nobody goes through or that nobody noticed. However, I got through it because of the good people around me and the good banter that kept all my spirits high. So overall, thank you to all of you for the wonderful memories and presents and leaving presents that you all got me. I'll miss you all, and I hope our paths cross again in the future. I've decided to open my own chartered accountancy practice. You can find it at www.sb-g.co.uk. If you or anyone you know wants to inquire about these services in the future, then do reach out. Also, this video is loaded onto my YouTube channel, The Accounting Tutor, so please do subscribe for any accounting lessons. They're all free. I know it's been a long video, but a few of you have asked me over the years for some tips in order to progress in your own careers, and I know many of you are still early on in your careers. I've just put together 5 tips that I think will stand you in good stead for the future. If you're not interested, I want to say thank you now and goodbye, and that it's been a pleasure working with you. For those that want to stay, here's some of the tips that I think have worked for me. Tip number 1, success requires hard work. There's no magic formula. You learn, you do, you review, you repeat, you repeat, you repeat. I've always told my team that you will know when you're a success when people stop seeing you as a delivery centre, but instead see you as a finance business partner. To get to that stage, you have to put in more than what is in a job description. My perceived success comes from the 80% unseen, the weekends, the late nights, the researching, the digging. Mastery of any task requires commitment, and you have to put in the hours. There are less than 5 people that I've met in my entire life that I would say have the God-given talent not to work hard in order to succeed. Everyone else I've met, you have to work hard if you want to level up. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 to everyone, and it may sound cocky, but aim to be the most knowledgeable person in a room. You know, staff always ask me how can they be more confident when they go in to meetings with senior staff on accounting topics or issues that have been raised. And I've always said You must research and read up on the topic so that when you walk into a meeting, you are confident that you know the most about it in the room. If you don't, you listen to the ones that do. You go away, you research it, and you become the expert on it next time. But you've got to try your best in order to research and do all of that work beforehand, so when you walk into meetings, you're the best one there. Third one, look after each other. No one knows what goes on in each other's lives, and people suffer a lot. Give people the benefit of the doubt. Expose your own vulnerability and build a trust with them. Trust me, everyone has their demons. Don't be someone else's. Try and do what you can to make their life better. Next one, be brave enough to challenge the status quo and be humble enough to listen to someone's challenge. The majority of my job has been to create something where something didn't exist, or to look at a process and make it better and more efficient. The worst sentence someone could ever utter to me would be, "But we've always done it this way." Intelligent disobedience must be one of the tools in your arsenal if you want to progress forward. If you always stick with what's been done, you won't evolve. And more importantly, for a business, if you don't adapt with the environment, culture, or people, you will become extinct because others will offer a much better, more tech-savvy solution. Bring new ideas to your manager about how things can be done better. It's scary, but you owe it to yourself. And managers and leaders have to learn to listen more and take these things on board without thinking that they're personal attacks on anyone. I remember bringing some controversial topics to the table a couple of years ago in leadership meetings. Flexible working, remote working capability increases. And those things are now part of normal life here. And that's not because of me, but that's how fast the world can move. So we always have to be ready to move with it. My last one will be, bring a solution to every mistake or issue that's raised. Everyone makes a mistake. It's okay to make a mistake. And everyone has the ability to spot an issue. But the most annoying thing that someone can do is spot an issue and not think about how to fix it, or identify a mistake they've made, but not have a solution for how they'll prevent it in the future, or how they're going to fix it now. Get into the habit of doing that. That's just a small little snippet of five things that I think will really help people in their careers. Overall, I just want to thank you all again. It's been a pleasure working with all of you. Take care of yourselves, and I'm sure our paths will cross again in the future.